Welcome to Big B Daily. No frauds allowed.
What's going on, man? What is going on? Thank you. We are live with Big B Dailies. We're live on TikTok. We're live on YouTube. Coming at you 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Central. Thank you guys for joining in, man. Woo! Good day today, man. College football is officially back, and we are talking college football all day today. We are dedicating this one to college football. We got some conference predictions that we're going to talk about, and we're going to interact a lot today. We're going to interact a lot today. I know we do that most days anyway, but we're going to interact on all the segments today. Who's winning? What each conference, at least the Power 5 conferences. Who do we got? We're making our picks, and most importantly, we got fraud alert. We got fraud alert. You know, Jesus. But let's start off. I mean, last night's game, look, the two big games were Nebraska at Minnesota and Florida at Utah. And we were just talking here at TikTok. We're talking about, I've never seen a game where a team gets a penalty for having two guys on the field with the same number. I mean, Florida. I mean, what are you doing? Like, seriously, what are you doing? Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Just bad. Just unbelievably bad. And they got just boat raced. Just got their heads beaten in, just like we called it yesterday. We knew Florida was going to look bad, and they look bad. Jeez, Utah just whipped them. And it could have been worse, but Utah's starting quarterback is out. Because I think it would have been worse. Matter of fact, I know it would have been worse. So, but the one thing I know for sure, as bad as Florida is, Utah's not winning the Pac-12 if they're starting because their quarterback play, it wasn't that good last night. I mean, they should have scored 40 points against Florida. So, anyway, so little conference predictions. We'll start out in the Pac-12. First off, thank you guys again for joining. TikTok, join the chat. Let's get this thing going. In the Pac-12, YouTube, let's get this thing going in the chat. Who do you guys think is going to win the Pac-12 title? Personally, I think USC, Utah, Washington. I don't think Oregon. No, Oregon's not physical enough. I'm not going to put Oregon in the fraud alert like we had them in last year. I'm not going to put them in the fraud alert, but Oregon's not winning the Pac-12. So I think it's going to end up being Washington. I picked USC earlier, but I'm just not going to trust USC's defense. I think Washington is going to end up winning the Pac-12. I think they're going to get enough. They got the offense, and they're going to get enough defense to be able to win that conference. I like Washington. I like Penix Jr. The guy is crazy. Their receivers are crazy. I like them. Yeah, I just think Washington is going to win. I think Washington's the best team. USC just doesn't play enough defense for me. They don't play enough defense. Terrible. It's terrible, man. So I can't go with them. I can't go with them. Out and let's move from west to east. So we'll go to the Big 12. You all know me. I'm a K-State homer. I'm picking K-State to win again. Texas fraud alert. Texas fraud alert. Texas fraud alert. That's our first fraud alert of the year. Texas. I don't care what anybody says. They have 10 starters back on offense. They got all of this. Texas is going to find a way to lose 3 football games. You know it. I know it. We all know it. Texas is going to lose 3 football games. They're not winning the Big 12. Kansas State is winning the Big 12. Period, point blank, mark it down. Mark it down. That's going to happen. Baylor will be better. Texas Tech is going to be good. Don't believe the Kansas hype. Don't believe the Kansas hype. You're going to be disappointed if you believe the Kansas hype. And that's not just me being a K-State guy. Take a deep dive into what they actually did last year, and you'll say to yourself, yeah, it wasn't that impressive. So Pump the brakes on the Kansas hype. Oklahoma State has a chance, although their roster's bad, but their schedule is easy. So Oklahoma State has a chance to win 8 games and be one of the worst 8-win teams in the history of college football. But it could happen. It could happen. Moving on, going to the Big Ten. I like Michigan. I still like Michigan. I think Wisconsin, while they'll be better, I still think they're a year away. I still think they're a year away. Yeah, Luke Fickle's still got some recruiting to do. They're doing a good job in the transfer portal. They'll continue, but I think Wisconsin's a year away. Until I see Iowa score 21 points in a football game, I'm not going to believe anything that Iowa does. I'm just not going to believe it. I'm not going to believe it. Until I see their offense score 21 points, I'm not going to believe anything. You can count me out. You can count me out. So I'm over it. I'm over it. Josh Tucker saying he likes Washington. Josh is my boy. He's been my boy for 40 years. He knows Washington's going to win. He knows it. We all know Washington's winning the Pac-12. Back to the Big Ten. Yeah, I like Michigan. Ohio State will be good, but you're going to have to show this quarterback. I'm not sure. It's usually just plug and play at Ohio State with the quarterback play. We'll see this year. I want Penn State to win. I'm not a big Penn State fan. I mean, I don't root against them. I want Penn State to do it. Come on, James Franklin. At some point, you got to get over the hump, man. At some point, you got to get over the hump. At some point, you do. You got to get there. But it ain't going to be this year. It's not going to be this year. What's up, man? What's going on, people? Again, we are live on TikTok, live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. Thank you guys for joining Big B Dailies. Again, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Central. Today, we're dedicating to college football. Talking to all things college football today. It's back. Football is back. Big B Bets is back. We'll get into some picks later. If you're on TikTok and Facebook and YouTube, we got all those picks that are all out there. We pick some games. We'll go over them here in just a minute. So, good day. Now then, lastly, we'll go to the ACC. Well, I guess not lastly. We got the SEC, but we'll go to the ACC. I got Clemson. Nobody's talking about Clemson this year. I'm telling you, Clemson's going to win. I got Clemson in the playoff. Now, I'm not saying they're necessarily going to win it, but I got Clemson in the playoff. Nobody's talking about them. They're going to get better quarterback play. Florida State, no. I don't trust the coaching at Florida State. Florida State's got a ton of players. I don't trust the coaching. I mean, Dabo will coach circles around what they got at Florida State, man. That's just a fact. It's just a fact. So I think Florida State might even have a better roster than Clemson. But it'll come down to coaching, and they'll get out coached. And Florida State, you know that. They'll lose 3 games. First of all, they're going to lose Saturday or Sunday. And we'll get into that in here in just a minute. But they're going to lose that game, number one. Clemson is going to win the ACC. Now, moving on to the SEC, I think it's Georgia, and by a lot. I think it's Georgia by a lot. Look, the SEC for years have had the best conference. That gap is not that wide anymore. It's just not. If people are being honest, you know that gap is not that wide anymore. You look at Georgia is better than everybody in the SEC. Head and shoulders better. Okay, then what? Alabama, we'll see. I think Alabama's going to be better. I know people are sleeping a little bit on Alabama because of quarterback play. I just think they'll run the ball a lot. I think Alabama's just going to run the ball. But then what? Are you telling me Texas A&M, LSU? I think people are jumping on this bandwagon of LSU about how great they're going to be. I don't see it. I think they'll be a really good football team, but they're not in Georgia's class. They're not in Georgia's class. Tennessee's going to take a step back, 8-4. Mark my words, 8-4 for Tennessee. Then what? Ole Miss, South Carolina, A&M, Kentucky. All those teams are not better than what's in other conferences, man. They're just not. Stop. Okay? The SEC's been top heavy for years, and they've been the best conference. You can't deny that. And they're still the best conference. But that gap is not near as wide as what it used to be, man. It's not near as wide as what it used to be. People talking about, Texas A&M, 5-7, and yet they're still ranked. How is that possible? They were atrocious last year. But yet, because they had a couple of recruiting classes, forget the coaching, because the coaching's been horrible. We'll leave that out, but yet we're still going to rank. Come on, man. I don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. So let's move on. Best matchups for Saturday. And I'll ask you guys, who do you guys think are the best matchups of Saturday? I mean, let's just count the weekend. LSU, obviously. LSU, Florida State. That's the best one. I like the North Carolina, South Carolina game and the Colorado TCU game. It's not the greatest weekend, but I think it's still pretty good, man. I think it's still a pretty good weekend. I don't think it's that bad. I've seen worse. This is not that bad. I like it. Early matchups. Those are the best matchups. And so, on saying that, we might as well move on. I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about as far as the matchups. Let's get to picking some of these games. That's what y'all wanted to hear anyway. Let's get to picking some of these games. So, the first one that I have, and first off, I'm a homer. You see the Louisville shirt. We play tonight against Georgia Tech, -7.5. I like Louisville. Obviously, I like Louisville, -7.5. That's what I'm taking. So, Louisville's going to score some points. It'll take them a quarter or two to get adjusted. New coach, new system. I like it. Yeah, I like Louisville. Let's move on. Now, here is where you can double up a little bit. This is where I'm choosing to double up, is the Washington-Boise State game. I think, first of all, I think Washington scores a bunch of points. I mean, what do y'all think? You think Washington scores a bunch of points? I think Washington scores a bunch of points. That offense with Penix, the receivers, they're going to put up some points. Their defense still isn't the greatest. So I think Boise will score with them. 58.5 on the over. I like it. But I also like Washington -14. I think they're going to take them to the woodshed a little bit. So I like both of those. So Boise's not winning, man. Stop it. Stop it. Unbelievable. Boise's not winning that game. But I like it. I like that game, though. A lot of people stayed away. I'm like, no, let's attack it. First week, let's have some fun. Let's make some money. Now, the next one, UNC, South Carolina. Fraud alert. North Carolina. I don't want to hear it. I don't know how they're ranked. They got a great quarterback. They got a great offense. Their defense can't stop a JV team. And they lost a bunch of guys from it. So how are you going to have a bad defense, lose a bunch of guys from that defense, and replace them with guys that are worse, but yet you're ranked? Get out of here. Fraud alert, North Carolina. I like South Carolina. +2.5, give me South Carolina all day. Give me South Carolina all day long. All day long. Oh, and also, yeah, 64 and a half. I don't know. Some people thought I like the over on that. I don't know. I mean, it sounds good because here's what I think. They might have 50 at halftime because I think they're both offenses are going to be doing wind sprints up and down the field. So 64 and a half on the over. I like it. I'm taking it. I'm taking it. Yeah, both teams scoring 30 at least. Hell, the way it's going, both teams might have the over. You know how it goes. They might have the over by halftime. Ain't nobody going to stop nothing. Nobody's going to stop anything. So now let's get into some nitty gritty. The last two. LSU, Florida State. I know a lot of people are on Florida State. I like LSU. I like LSU -2. I think LSU wins by at least a touchdown. I like LSU. I like LSU. I like their team. I don't think they're in the Georgia caliber, but I think they're in that next realm. But I like LSU. I don't think Florida State's there. I think their coaching is bad. I got LSU. I think they're a better football team. I know they got a couple guys out. I think they're a better football team than Florida State. We'll see. But I like LSU -2. Gonna be a good football game, though. That's the thing. It's gonna be a real good football game. Great football game. And then last, the laydown of the week. The laydown of the week. TCU plus 20 and a half or minus 20 and a half against Colorado. I like TCU or not TCU. I take that back. What am I talking about? I'm going nuts. I like Colorado all day. I got Colorado all day. I think Colorado might even win the football game. It's early enough in the season. Attrition won't have set in for Colorado because that's Colorado's problem. They don't have depth. They got a great first 22, but you start getting into the 44s and the 50s, the numbers start to die off as far as quality numbers. But I like Colorado. I love it. I like Colorado plus 20 and a half. And people are underestimating how much TCU lost. They think, oh, well, they were in the national championship game. And, but you know how many players they lost that are currently in the NFL right now? A ton. A ton. Somebody says, I'll take TCU and give 6. And give 6, the line is 20 and a half. What are you talking about? Give 6. Then give me 6. You give me the 20 and a half. Because like I said, I like Colorado plus 20 and a half. I think it's the laydown of the week. I think a ton, because the line was even bigger. I think people can make a ton of money on this game. And like I said, don't be surprised if Colorado wins. Don't be surprised. I'm just telling you. All right, man. Thank you guys again. We are Big B Dailies, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Central Time, live on TikTok, live on YouTube, live on Facebook. I appreciate it. Let's start taking some questions, man. Let's start taking some questions. The chat is popping over on YouTube. Look, if you are in on TikTok, first of all, give me a follow if you're not giving me a follow. Second of all, come on over to YouTube, subscribe to Big B Sports Talk. Come subscribe to the page, man. The chat is going bananas today. Again, we're dedicated today to college football. I appreciate all y'all in here. Let's get after it, man. Let's have some fun. Let's take some questions. Let's look at some stuff. Penn State is a fraud in the Big Ten. Come on, man. Come on. They're not a fraud. I don't think Penn State is a fraud because Penn State's good. I just think Penn State can't beat the big boys. They just haven't beat them. But I don't think they're a fraud. To be a fraud means, at least my definition. My definition of fraud is everybody thinks you're good and you're a 7-5, 8-4 football team. That's a fraud. Like, for instance, Utah last year, everybody thought they were going to be spectacular, get in the playoff. Utah, fraud. Absolute fraud. Texas this year, fraud. Texas, fraud. But Penn State's not a fraud. Penn State's not a fraud. What are my thoughts on Boston College? I mean, I think Boston College is going to be one of the worst teams in the ACC. So other than that, I have no thoughts. We got Texas fans over on TikTok, people. They're giving me horns up. And see, now we got somebody that's trying to piss me off, saying the Pittsburgh Steelers are a fraud. See, I was having a good day. I was being nice to people. I wasn't saying anything. And then now you're going to say that the Steelers are a fraud. See, this is a way to get my blood pressure up. Y'all know I've been losing weight.
Welcome to Big B Daily. No frauds allowed. Welcome to Big B Daily. No frauds allowed. Welcome to Big B Daily. No frauds allowed. Welcome to Big B Daily. No frauds allowed.
I mean, I don't know Notre Dame's schedule like that, but they're going to lose 4 games. I mean, Clemson will be one of them. USC will be another. I know they play them every year. I have to look at it. You disagree with me on the Colorado prediction. You just can't go 1-11 all of a sudden. I don't understand what that even means. I mean, Colorado went 1-11 last year, so I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. So now you're saying I got it. It cuts you off. You can't go 1-11 and then be a contender. Well, actually, in college football and college sports, yeah, you can. Because if you change your entire roster like Colorado did, yeah, you can be better. You can be better. Now, I'm not saying Colorado's gonna win 7 or 8 games. I'm not saying that, but you can be better. So, looks like things are back up over on YouTube, man. We had some technical difficulties. Let me get back over on the chat and see what's going on. I apologize for the technical difficulties. So, we got somebody who watched Washington. So, over here on the chat and YouTube, here's the question. Let me just read it to you. So let me try to tell you something. You can believe me or not, but I watched Washington practice in the spring, but they got some beast on defense, about 5 transfers from the portal. I think their defense is going to be better. I got Washington winning the Pac-12. I got Washington winning the Pac-12. Now, again, I'm going to have to see those defensive guys because, we know what their defense has been. But if their defense is better, I still have them winning the Pac-12. I think they'll be able to get enough stops against a USC and a Utah and an Oregon to be able to win that conference. Because Penix is the truth. He's the truth. I like him. I like him a lot. Louisville. Oh, yeah, you missed it earlier. I apologize. I love Louisville -7.5 tonight. I think they win by 2 touchdowns. I think they win by I'll say at least 10 points, but I think it may be 2 touchdowns. I think it might be 2 touchdowns. Here's a question again by Joe over on YouTube. Colorado, come on. They haven't shown anything. If you're going to play with the big boys, you got to prove yourself on the block first. Has anybody proven anything since this is week 1? Look, I try to be nice. I'm a nice guy, but you can't make silly comments like that. They haven't proven anything. Well, nobody's proven anything. It's week 1. You know how many guys from TCU are no longer on that roster from last year because they're in the NFL? None of these guys have proven anything. So come on now. You gotta be better with those comments. I get what you're trying to say, but you need to say that. Don't say this because that doesn't make any sense. It's week 1. Nobody's proven anything. And you can like TCU, but do you think TCU is going to win by 3 touchdowns? I don't. I don't at all. Texas is not going to the playoff. No. Not a chance. Not a chance. Dion hype is already annoying. What's annoying about it? Are you mad that people are talking about him? What did he do? Other than say that he was coming there to win and change a culture. You're mad that people want him to be good and you don't? It's comments like that. It's stuff. It's stupid stuff. All they talk about. It's not all they talk about. It's all what you choose to listen to, but that's not all they talk about. So you're not taking South Carolina, then be prepared to lose money. South Carolina's winning the game. All right, what do we got, YouTube? What do we got? Joe, man, you ain't got to apologize, man. We can disagree all day. You can't go. You're saying that you just can't go from 1-11 and all of a sudden be a contender. Well, who said that they're a contender? Or second of all, who said no? Nobody said that Colorado's a contender. And if you think that that same TCU team from last year is this year's team, you're crazy, because this TCU team is not a contender. I can tell you that right now. So if that's what we're talking about and we're basing it on that, this TCU team this year is not a contender for a national title, not a contender for a Big 12 title. They're not a contender for any of that. So, but Colorado's not a contender. But before a bunch of injuries have set in, the first game of the year, Colorado will compete in this football game. Mark my words. They will compete. They will compete. Now, watch. Their offensive line is supposed to be decent. If their offensive line is horrible, all bets are off, and I will come on here Monday and tell you that y'all were right and I was wrong. Y'all know me. I always admit it. I always admit it. And again, Joe, over on YouTube, do not apologize for anything. You don't have to apologize for nothing, man. This is just sports talk. We can disagree. You can make fun of me. I can make fun of you. Y'all know TikTok. Will y'all please tell them? Y'all know. Y'all been around long enough. You don't have to apologize. We're just not going to be. We're not going to be rude to people and be stupid about it. But you can make fun of me. I make fun of you. It's all good, man. It's a sports talk. We're having fun. What are you supposed to do? Man, I'll get to the Bears on Monday, man. We're talking all college football today. We will get back to pro football on Monday, I promise. See, now we got people coming on, and we got somebody over on the live on YouTube. He's making fun of the South Carolina pick. Let me just explain some stuff to people. First of all, we did 2 picks. Okay, we liked 2 games, or two parts of that. We liked the over on that game because we think that they'll hit the over by, I don't know, halftime. So we're good there with South Carolina. Second of all, North Carolina's defense is atrocious. At best, they're atrocious. South Carolina's winning the game. Spencer Rattler, be a believer. Be a believer. I'm a believer. I'm not really, but I just think he's going to win this game. Because I don't think South Carolina's even that good, man. I don't think South Carolina's that good. Oh, okay. What is that? LVXRY Productions over on YouTube's Michigan State. We haven't had a lot of Michigan State talk. 6-6? Yeah. I'd like to think they could get to 8-4, but they can't. They can't. Look, how good is the coach? How good is the coach? And you all know me. I don't get into a whole lot of racial stuff unless somebody's being racist. Okay? That's not my thing. I'm not that dude. And I know as a black man, I'm not supposed to say that Mel Tucker is not a very good coach. Mel Tucker's not a very good coach. I'm saying it. I'm saying it. He got that huge contract off of 3/4 of a season. He's not that good of a football coach. And they gave him that big money, and I guarantee you if they could take it back, they would take it back. Michigan State 6-6 sounds about right. And Michigan State should be better than 6-6. They should be better than 6-6. With the resources and what they have available, they should be better than that. What we got over here on TikTok? What kind of questions? What we got? And again, we are live Monday through Friday on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook. Everybody join in. It's 4 p.m. Central Time. If you're on TikTok and you're not following me, give me a follow. If you are, come on over to YouTube as well. The chat is really popping over on YouTube, man. And I will put your question up on the screen. I will holler your name out. We'll have a good time, man. So, what do we got? I want to get into college football, but there's so many teams. Yeah, how do you keep up? Just focus on the top team. Hey, man, that's a great question. I think you got to pick a team that you like and focus on them and their conference and then just ride it out from there. For me, everybody said, "Oh, Brian, you root for two teams." Man, I'll explain it to anybody till the end of time. I grew up and was a Louisville fan literally my entire life. I grew up a Louisville fan. I grew up there. So I'm a Louisville fan. Die hard. When it came time to go to school and play football, Louisville was awful. And I didn't want to go get my head beaten in every week. And it was tough. But I went to Kansas State. So I love Kansas State. It's that simple. It's that simple. Kansas, oh my God. See, that now you talk about me making fun of people. Okay, TikTok, we got one over here on YouTube. Kansas is winning the Big 12 by Ruben Ortiz. You see? You see? Now, these are the type of comments I will make fun of. These right here. Kansas winning the Big 12. What has Kansas done that tells you that they're going to win the Big 12? I mean, Ruben, just tell me. Tell me what they've done that says, you know what? Kansas is going to win the Big 12. Oh, my gosh. And that's not because I love K-State. It's just, come on. Come on. All right. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Do I think Shadir Sanders can do the same as he did at Jackson State, or do you think it'll be a learning curve? Well, Shadur Sanders is going to have a little bit of a learning curve for sure because Jackson State, look, again, I say this and I've said it for a long time. HBCU football is not FCS level football. It's not. It's not. It's Division II football. Okay? I'm an honest guy and I call it like it is. So there'll be a little bit of a learning curve. His problem, number one, the speed of the game, but number two, his protection and him being able to stand in there and take hits. So because he's going to get hit a lot. So it will be a learning curve. Will he be able to do the same things? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Tennessee plays. Tennessee doesn't play Clemson. So I don't know what you're talking about. Don't know what you're talking about. We're going to move on. Do. Is somebody roasting somebody in here? Ruben is not winning the Heisman. I'm sorry. It's all about Penix Jr. Ruben? Ruben? Who's Ruben? Am I missing somebody? Who's Ruben? Huh. I'm not going to make fun of you today. I'm having a good day. We're having a good day. Do. What else do we got? We got a bunch of questions over on YouTube. Again, man, if you're on TikTok, man, shoot over to YouTube. Go subscribe to the page, man. North Carolina's not going to sneak up on anybody because North Carolina's defense won't allow them to sneak up on anybody because North Carolina is going to give up 1,000,000 points again. You can't sneak up on people when your defense is that bad. Can't do it, can't do it. Sorry. Louisville versus Georgia Tech. We covered that one, buddy. I like Louisville minus 7.5. I like it. Of course I like Louisville. Of course. Of course. What else we got? What else do we got? Ruben was just showing love to his school. But here's somebody that I can get down with. Kansas winning the Big 12 is like the California Bears winning the Pac 12. Now, see, Joe, now those are the type of comments that I like to see. Those are the type of comments that I like to see. I love it. Bro, talking about college football, you just asked about Sean O'Malley. I don't even know who Sean O'Malley is, so I didn't ask about anybody. But I see what we got to do to you, though. I'm glad I'm not a dude that says bro all the time. I am glad. Sorry about that, people. Got to get rid of rude people from time to time. Best running game in college football. Ooh, man. Wisconsin comes to mind. Yeah, Wisconsin, because of the number of backs that they got. Wisconsin comes to mind. Michigan really comes to mind. I mean, I think Michigan has the top maybe 3 or 4 running backs in the country. They got 2 of them. So Ohio State is going to be in there, although they don't run it enough. I think if Ohio State got more physical, they would be better. Bama, we'll see. I think Bama's going to run it a lot this year because our quarterback play is not as good. I think Bama's going to run it a heck of a lot more this year. That's a good question, though. That's a good question. I think Michigan maybe 1. Don't count out Wisconsin. There's other teams that run it, but yeah, I like those teams. I like them. And Notre Dame, I don't know. Notre Dame be 8-4 this year, so I don't know. That's a good question. Kansas winning the Big 12. Do we know we're not in basketball season? Yeah. I get it. I get it, my man. I get it. All right. Question here. Do you know when the college playoff is going to expand to 8 to 12? 12 teams, and it starts next year, 2024. 2024. So, good question. Good question. Great question, actually. What else we got? Man, I am just excited about college football. That's the thing. I'm excited about college football. I'm excited about college football in general, but I don't think college football gets enough love from a lot of people. And I love pro football. Look, the football in the NFL is on another level compared to college. It's not even comparable, the level of football. But I like the pageantry of college football. Love the pageantry of college football, man. I can't get enough. Can't get enough. I like game day. I make breakfast in the morning. As y'all can see, I don't miss too many meals. I make breakfast in the morning on Saturday morning. I get hype. It is college football all day. And luckily, I got a wife that gets it. She doesn't get in the way. She lets me do my thing all day. Have a good time with it. So, let's see. Any other questions? I don't have no idea who the Michigan State quarterback is going to be. Sorry, I do not follow them like that. Who am I watching Saturday? I'm starting off watching TCU and Colorado. I'm watching that first. But if anybody, and this is just a free plug for YouTube TV, if anybody's got YouTube TV, man, I used it last night on that multi-screen. That is awesome. You can watch all those different games, 4 games at once, and pick the sound that you want for each game. It is awesome. It is awesome. So, loved every second of it. Loved every second of it. Well, all right, man. I appreciate y'all joining in today, man. This is a good one. Thanks for coming in. We will get back to talking some pro football next week. We'll mix it up. We will absolutely start mixing it up again, but it is important. Today was college football's day. Today was college football's day. Next Friday will be pro football day. We'll still do our picks and college picks and all that good stuff. But next Friday will be pro football day. So, but I will see you guys on Monday. Again, live on TikTok, live on YouTube, live on Facebook, man. I appreciate everybody that has joined. We've done this for 2 weeks now, man, and the support is going crazy. So pass it along. Tell your friends. We have a good time over here, man. If you're on TikTok, please give me a follow. And if you're over there, come on over to YouTube, man. Come subscribe to the page on YouTube. It's Big B Sports Talk. We appreciate everything you guys are doing as far as joining in, making the chat fun, keeping this live and active. So thank you guys. And I will see you guys on Monday, man. Everybody have a good weekend.